Dow jumps 100 points. S&P 500 adds to record as investors bet on trade deals ahead. Even Trump and Trump supporters said, all right, there may be some market pain and some economic pain in the immediate future, but eventually things will get better. But David, the markets remain relentlessly strong.
They've been incredibly strong and surprised even me. And I talk about every week when we do the advisor training and the macro talking points for our client base is that the fundamentals are not that strong. The technicals are, and we look at both here when we're allocating dollars.
Just give us a quick review. What are you talking about, fundamentals versus technicals?
Fundamentals is, how's the economy doing on a macro point of view, right? GDP, et cetera. How are earnings for companies, the fundamentals of companies? Are they selling more products, goods, or services? Are their margins holding up so that they have profitability, which turns out to dividends and rewards the shareholder with a higher value of the stock, right? So those are the fundamentals. The technicals are, you can follow technical patterns in the market. You can follow moving averages. You can follow PE ratios, price to earnings ratios, and you can use all these things to give a thesis on where you think something should be fairly valued. Now, if you follow what's called the free markets economy, then the efficient frontier tells you that it's always the right price because the free market's what sets the price, which is why you want less regulation so that a free market can absolutely function. The more you regulate it, the more you manipulate the free, price discovery, if you will. Like I was recently in the Chicago board. I got to ring the closing bell in the Chicago board exchange, right? And about 80% of their transactions are electronic. But the reason people are like, why do you still have the pit? Why do they still have open outcry? It's the number one option trade in the world on SPX, which is the S&P 500 index options, insurance companies, banks, retail investors, the like. They all trade these options, millions of them. And the reason they have open outcry is that's how you get what's called real price discovery. You won't get that electronic bid to ask pairing up on a computer. And so sometimes you can move the price with what's called open outcry. Those are technical indicators. When we see the charts, the tick technically tells us about price discovery. We could do a whole show on this, but anyway, the bottom line is technically the market is looking very healthy here. Fundamentally, it's looking very weak. And from the fundamental standpoint, it's the most expensive it's ever been in history, Chip.
Well, do you still see pain in the future in the economy before the year's out?
I do see some things that are concerning to me, and I don't know if we'll get into it or not, but I brought a graph that shows you we've not had a down July in over a decade. The last 10 years, July has always been green. Fundamentally, there used to be an old adage, sell in May, go away. Well, that hasn't really worked here as recently because here we are, the markets have recovered strongly. And the other thing is you have a younger generation of investors that seem to be buying every dip regardless, where baby boomers are a little more cautious, typically speaking, because these younger generations have never experienced a real prolonged bear market. They've only experienced a COVID bear market. Oh, it goes down for 6 weeks and comes back. Oh, a tariff tantrum. It goes down and comes right back. Is that reality? Well, if you study history and markets, no, there'll be some pain at some point. Now, we don't know when that is, which is why you can't just put all the money under the mattress, as my wife Melissa's favorite saying, Melissa's mattress money, right? So what it tells you is you need to have somebody who's proactively watching the market to reallocate your capital when necessary to step you out of some of harm's way. And again, you don't need to shoot for the moon and hit every home run, but you want to pay attention because our debt is spiraling out of control. Here's the big, beautiful bill I'm going to talk about with Alex coming up. That's going to add potentially $5 trillion in debt to our fires. We have $37 trillion as we sit here today. We're on schedule to be at $45 trillion before the end of Trump's term. Hey, if you're looking for more content like this, make sure you check out these videos and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you'll be notified when we publish more content that will help you retire smart. Thanks for watching.